This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
This is Joe Rabil. So what we're going to do today, I get requests periodically, and I'd like to see more of this, where a subscriber did a specific trade and wanted to do some analysis on it. I think it's a perfect example because it covers so many different factors that I like to look at when you're looking at something that is sort of gotten excessive to the upside. And so it's a silver trade that someone did using the approach that I teach in my book, in my courses, a short trade. And it covers a lot of different factors. I think everyone will get something out of this. All right. Now, if you want to learn more about these techniques, you can click the link in the description to find out more about the book. Also, if you do enjoy this type of content, please hit that like button and also subscribe. Okay, so I've got the silver chart up, and I've got 4 different time frames up, monthly in the bottom left, weekly in the bottom right, daily in the upper right, and then an hourly in the upper left. All right, now I want to cover 2 different aspects of this. One is the short trade that was done, as I mentioned in the intro, but I also want to cover how we look at excessive price action and how we can look to take advantage of that if we're in the position. All right, now this usually comes into play in shorter term trading. I don't usually step in on a longer term trade and override the system, but sometimes it just gets so ridiculous you kind of want to take advantage when you see something. So most of what I'm going to teach from the standpoint of selling expansion is going to be more for like shorter term trades, which I've done both on an intraday basis and as well as like swing trading. So you want to use it for that, all right, for the most part. All right, now in this situation, you have to look at what actually took place. We had pretty substantial a pretty substantial bar here on the monthly chart. All right, and this was all green. Okay, now keep in mind at the end, we look at it now, you say, oh, there's a big tail, it looks a lot more obvious, but at the time this actually was all green up here. So when you look at it from that standpoint, you have to sort of determine, is it really excessive? And the way I do that is if I'm looking at these bars, you look at the size of these bars and then they start to increase. But if you look at this one, when it was up above 100, it was the biggest bar on the chart, okay? And it was the biggest bar of this move, and it's stretched away from the 18. When you get stretched away and you've made an excessive move, so you've had a run to the upside and then you get a really big bar, okay, that is a sign of exhaustion. You want to look to be a seller either on that bar or the next bar. Now, when it's this big of a bar, I don't usually want to wait. So when this was in this range in here, I start to look at the other time frames. Now, the weekly really wasn't all that helpful. It gapped up. It had been gapping up almost every week and moving up. This was gapping up and moving up. It wasn't really an excessive bar from that standpoint. But when we switched to the daily chart, something kind of really showed up. And I even put it out on the day, this day here. I just said, out on X and LinkedIn, I basically said, this is the highest volume day that this is seen in years, right? And we're getting this parabolic type of look to the chart pattern. And the way I do that is if we start to accelerate the trend lines, right? And we just keep accelerating them. And it just, when it gets to, if I start from here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, right around that 4th or 5th one, and we start to look almost vertical in nature in the move, then I'm starting to look for signs of climax, all right? And this big bar, again, it was a green bar at the time when I was looking at it up here in the 105, 106, 107 area. It was huge volume for the day. It was already trading well above, and it was the highest volume day it had in years. And we can go back. You can see that it was years where it had increased like that. And so, and I did want to point this out. Actually, I get a lot of questions about log charts versus arithmetic. I use arithmetic. All right. I know that people are like, "Oh, you're crazy to do that." But if you're looking at a pattern that's only a year or two, you don't really need a log chart. Okay. And I like to use acceleration trend lines. So acceleration trend lines are where once the ascent you make a higher low and a higher high, the ascent of the slope moves up, and you can see you get this sort of parabolic look to it as it starts to creep higher. Okay, and we keep connecting the lows. You get this type of a look to the pattern, and it's something that I've used for years, and I find it to be incredibly helpful when we get into sort of a climax move like this. All right, now this big, huge green bar at the time was green, but we had the big volume, and I'm basically saying, look, we've had this run, we're getting really extended away on the monthly chart. All right, we're already extended on the weekly at the time, right? And then you get this move to the upside that is a gap up, green bar. Massive volume, and I'm just like, we ought to be on the lookout for some sort of a climax. Now, I'm not necessarily calling a top in silver. I don't know that this is the top in silver, but it looked like an interim peak to me. All right, was developing, and I didn't actually catch the high, right? I mean, I got pretty close, but so I took some profits on that day. Now, I want to point this out because these are two different types of trades. If you're in this position, which I was in, and I've talked about this in a prior video, I got in down on this breakout trade, right, and caught a big move. All right, they don't always work like that, but in this case, it happened. Now, and one thing I do want to point out when it comes to technical analysis, Linda Raschke calls it a departure point, right? When you put on a good trade, you don't know which are going to be the big winners. You just don't. You have to follow a plan, take profits as it's available to you, scale and trail, and then see what turns into a monster win. You don't know when you're going to get lucky and catch something big. All right, I know people think they can project that, but I studied exits for years, and I'm just totally convinced that you just don't have. You're not going to be able to pick and choose which are going to be the right ones, which are going to be the ones that are going to go up for 3 years or make a big move in 1 year, or just fizzle out after a month. Okay, so you have to have a plan of action, and you have to follow that. Now, every now and again, I might step in a little bit. This wasn't necessarily a sell that was a part of my plan, but I was like, this is just ridiculous, is what I was saying to myself. So I just felt like I had to do some selling. Now, that's selling in a position that I'm in. All right, that's totally different. And then if I want to go short. All right, this is not a day to go short, in my opinion. Now, what the subscriber did was they basically said, look, we've got great momentum on the monthly. We've got great momentum on the weekly. Okay, these are both really strong patterns, but they're getting really excessive. All right, so they're reading that part the same way. Then he said, we've got this big kind of stretched away move on the daily chart, which is the most important thing. I talked about this in a prior video. When we're looking at a retracement trade, right? We want to the one time we have to have 2 consecutive time frames that we're trading. The one time frame needs to be really stretched away from the 18. Okay, it doesn't have to have divergence, but it needs to be stretched away. All right. So just to let you know, I am going to do a detailed breakout trade. This came in a while back, and I wanted to cover this first. So this is the retracement trade that I talked about in the video that I did where I said these are the 3 trades that you need. This is this reversion to the mean type of a trade. Now, it's a great example of this, okay? So I'm going to cover that, but I am going to go and I'm going to do a really detailed version of the breakout trade and cover a lot of details on that, all right? I want to make sure you're aware of that. So, but I do want to point out, so we got this stretched away, all right? So that's part 1. That's the most important thing, is that we're stretched away from the daily time frame. So then I want to go down to the lower time frame, hourly. All right. Now, what they did here, which I thought was really good. All right. They're watching ADX. Now, ADX confirms on this move. We make a move to the upside and we get confirmation. Then we get a pullback to the 18 and we go to another new high. All right, let me clear this off. And we make another new high above this prior peak, but the ADX can't even get above 25. You see how it kept drifting lower? And at the peak day, it actually dropped under 25. So that's a really kind of key thing. It's an exhaustion pattern that's essentially saying, look, this is really tired. This can't keep up the momentum. The jet fuel in the tank is really running low. All right. MACD also shows divergence. Okay. Now, there's a couple ways to handle this. You could go down to an intraday time frame, like a 10-minute or something like that, and look for a signal to the downside. But in this case, what they did was they looked at this big red bar as an entry crossing the 18 on the hourly time frame. Absolutely nothing wrong with this signal. This is a great signal. Always be on the lookout for the big red and big green bars. When you have everything in position, right? You have the 2 time frames set. We've got the pattern in place with exhaustion. Be on the lookout for these exhaustion bars, all right? Or I should say ignition bars, where we're getting a big monster move in the direction of the trade. All right. And it's not overbought or oversold. So this was coming right from the high day, and we get this big ignition bar to the downside. So it ends up not being necessarily the perfect time because it consolidates a little bit and actually tests your nerves a little bit as it pushes up towards the midpoint or just above the midpoint of this red bar. Right. But then we get the monster gap down and it follows through to the downside. Now, what his target was on this trade was the 18 on the higher time frame, which I like. I think that's a really good way to do this when you're this far away. So, I mean, you could play for the kill and say you're going to go all the way down to the 18 on the bigger time frame because this is so stretched and all that. But in reality, when you're looking at this and you're putting this trade on around 100, right, and your target is in the mid 80s. That's a solid trade using 2 ATRs or using the high of this bar. You're really risking 1 bar. I mean, in reality, you could put this trade on here and you're in at 100 and you're risking that. And even down to the mid 80s, you're still getting a really solid move in your favor. Now, the one thing I'd say here is that the way you could play this, you're not going to know when you get a big gap down like this, you're not going to know. And I'm not the type of person that's going to do, look at it in hindsight and said, oh, you should have held, right? I mean, monster gaps like this, you definitely want to be covering, right? You want to be taking advantage because this trade is, you're playing hit and run trading for these type of patterns. When you play a pattern like this, that's counter trend, and yeah, it's an exhaustion signal that could turn into a big drop like it did, but you don't know that at the time. So you have to sort of take your plan and execute it, all right, which this person did, I think, perfectly executed, frankly. I don't think I would have changed anything that I would do. Now, one of the things I like to do at times is in patterns like this is have a plan where I might take a partial profit on gap down at the open, have another target here, and then maybe have another one a little bit lower, just because you don't know what's going to take place, right? I mean, you could adjust those, but if your plan is that for the 18, right, and you're playing for that, and you do a risk reward, like I didn't do the 2 times the ATR. 2 times the ATR might have actually given you a much better target to risk reward ratio in the pattern. But either way, I think this is the type of thing we want to be on the lookout for when something gets really stretched away, right? And then we look for this exhaustion signal in the ADX. This is the most powerful signal you're going to find. It's way better than the MACD divergence, okay? Look for this exhaustion signal. I've done a number of videos on it, and I think this can really help. Use these big red bars and big green bars as ignition signals for you, and then just be patient and have to sit through sometimes. But let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.